This is Level M Diecast, ladies and gentlemen, and what you are looking at is another new 5-pack for 2023 for Matchbox. This is Matchbox Construction, and this one is especially nice for a couple of reasons. For one, it is extremely nice to get a matching construction 5-pack for a change. We have not seen things like this for over a decade. We just... you'll have a couple that match, usually you get like one ink or one Rannick in there. But these all match. These all match just like they used to do in the early 2000s, in the late 90s. Just looks super, super good. And on top of that, this one is especially nice because, as you guys already know, this is the 70th anniversary for Matchbox. And so all their construction equipment, all of their construction themed stuff, whether it be basics, 5-packs, multi-packs, real working rigs, it doesn't matter. They will all have matching decos. So as the year goes along, as we get more and more construction equipment, they will have similar decos to what you're seeing here to create a very, very nice family. So let's just go ahead, get these cracked. We are going to give these guys some rotator time too, doing something a little bit different with these 5-packs, but you want to just rip them open and get them out of the package. So get those guys out of there, take a look real quick, and we'll grab our rotator. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's dig right into our construction 5-pack here. We're going to start off with the Backhoe. This is, of course, generic. This came out a couple of years ago. They even threw the National Parks livery on this at one point in time. Definitely not been a very popular casting. The actual backhoe part in the back does absolutely nothing, even though it's pretty much what it's based on, being a backhoe. It does have a scoop in the front. That scoop does work in orange, which looks decent. It's always had these offset wheels to kind of give it that kind of stance of bigger wheels in the back, smaller ones in the front, like a typical backhoe. It's got a lot of nice details on the casting, but the backhoe part right here doesn't do anything, doesn't move. The front scoop does move up, so that looks decent. It doesn't dump though. It doesn't necessarily have the motion of the scooping and dumping, but that's kind of the way that they have to do it with the parts that they have available to build it, I should say. This is your deco. Taking a look at there, it does say Matchbox Construction. So there is some initials there. Looks like, oh, it says Backhoe on the front. It just says Backhoe. Interesting. Probably not as HR appropriate, I would say, put him like that, but that's perfectly fine. This is unit number 5. Hopefully everything will have a different unit number. Hopefully, we'll keep our fingers crossed on that one. There is the base deets on here, just MBX Backhoe. R46 is the date code on these guys. Now, if you're scooping up dirt, you need to move that dirt somewhere else. This is the Fawn dump truck. However, it is no longer called the Fawn dump truck. Now it is just called the turf hauler. And yes, that is the actual registered trademark of this model now. It is turf hauler. So I am very confident that it will say turf hauler on the base. This casting has been around since the late 80s in its current form. It's originally as far as I can remember, it is an original Lesney model way back in the day. Originally came with a metal dump and metal body. They also had a crane version. Matchbox has recently come out, well, not recently, but a few years ago, about 6 or 7 years ago, came out with a water hauler version, which has a water hauler on the back. It is a dump truck, and yes, it does dump, so that does pop up. So that looks pretty good. It is all plastic on that particular one, but I think it looks pretty good. Still has all that detail in there from being what it is. Looks like I'm getting all kinds of chips coming off of mine, but it looks pretty good. So I do like the yellow ring on the original off-road tires. That looks pretty good. There you go. It does say turf hauler on the side. There we go. Unit number 4. So definitely a new unit number. That's a good sign. No deets on this side. I have a little bit of chip right there, unfortunately. It is what it is. Taking a look at our base deets. There you go. The MBX turf hauler. Looks pretty decent. 1989 Mattel. The man number is 710. R47 is the base coat on that one. That's pretty cool. So I like that one. All right. We have already seen this casting in 2023. This was in the A case, but not this deco. It was a green and red. Kind of looked Christmassy. Kind of an odd choice. But, you know, it was supposed to hit around Christmas. This is your Road Roller. This was a new casting last year. So this is the third iteration we've seen of this particular casting. Not one I think that Matchbox particularly need to remake, but we've already covered that about the old one had a plastic cab on there that tended to come off. Probably was a potential risk. So the Matchbox team decided to just make a new one rather than retooling, I guess. This one looks the best of all the decals released thus far. Looks very, very appropriate. Looks very construction. Looks very industrial. I like it a lot. That red and green one was definitely just not a good one at all. Take a look at the deets on the side. Again, a new number, unit number 3. So they tend to go down from the top. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Probably. We'll see. Road Roller. Looks like they all will have their name on them as well. That looks pretty good. Do like that wheel there. And of course, it does have a rotating drum, which looks pretty good. Flip this around so you can see the base deets. There's your base deets. Matchbox 1289 on that one. I do like that casting. I do like it. The first couple of ones were just not that great. All right, we do have a licensed casting in here. I got yellow, orange flakes of paint everywhere. This is the Chevy Silverado, 2015 Chevy Silverado. We had seen this casting just as recently as the Jurassic Park series. Came in black with some mud and stuff on. Looks pretty good. This one is a nice fit for construction for sure. This could be the contractor truck, which looks pretty good. Site supervisor, that kind of stuff. This one doesn't have a bunch of additional tampo on the front or back like some previous ones have. Most of them have had some type of print on the front. Very interesting the way that they did the casting in order to get that whole front end to be plastic, but I think it's perfectly fine. Gray interior. It seemed to have a nice theme here. Everything seems to be orange with a lot of gray and some black wheel detail to them. So far they are exactly matched to each other. Just a Silverado on the bed. I really like this utility 6-spoke with just that yellow ring on there. Looks good. Unit number 2. That looks very, very nice. This one's pretty nice, actually. No deets on the front or anything like that. And then, of course, no deets on the rear, but it does have the Chevy symbol embossed, which is always good. There is your base deets. I guess it's 2014 Chevy Silverado. Could have swore it said 2015 on the package, but it's fine. It's all the same. All right, moving on to the very last one in the mix. This is one of the better construction generic castings that Matchbox has ever done, in my opinion. The Road Scraper was just one of the coolest ones ever. I just think it's just perfect. It's just a perfect casting. It's a bit small because it's got to fit in the blister, which, you know, Matchbox remedied that by coming out with one in the Real Working Rig line a couple years ago. But it just doesn't have the same charm as this one does. This casting was also modified about halfway through its life cycle compared to where we are now to implement some more plastic, unfortunately, in the casting. We'll take a look at that here in just a minute. This one is a little bit different in its style. Still has the black wheels, but it has orange print on the wheels instead of yellow. So that's a little bit different. Dark kind of metallic orange for the bed, which is also different than the rest. And of course, the front section in black. So I like it. It looks good. I love it. I think it looks great standalone, but it doesn't match. I'm not really sure why they decided to do this one different. The cab should have been the gray color as everything else, and then just the yellow print on the wheels, and it would have been perfectly fine. I could live with the kind of metallic orange in the back, but it's kind of interesting that they chose to change this one. So you're taking a look here at the bottom, you'll see where this arm is. That is all metal, but underneath that is plastic. There's a brake under there. They used to all be metal. Then you used to have just a small plastic base in there, just a scraper on the bottom. Does turn, so the front section does rotate. But the rear bucket area doesn't, doesn't rotate or doesn't lift up or down, or, you can't extract anything from inside of it, but it looks pretty good still. I still think this one's a pretty nice one. This one does say scraper on the side, just like the rest. They do have their name on there. It says Matchbox scraper on this side. This one is not unit numbered. There is no unit number on this one, so this one is kind of an oddball, I guess. Or maybe a new addition. Maybe this is the new flavor. I'm not really sure. No unit number on that one, though, so that's a little bit of a bummer. So what we'll do is I guarantee you that I can't fit all of them on the rotator guy because he's not that big. He's not that big. So we're going to go with, I think, my top 3 because I really do like this Vaughn dump truck. It's so classic Matchbox, and it's been around forever, and it still does exactly what you want it to do, exactly what it should do. It just has a plastic dump. That's it. Chevy Silverado, obviously good. The scraper is also a good one too. The Vaughn dump truck just wants to take off. So there you go. That is the Matchbox Construction 5-Pack 2023. Brand spanking new. Look for these decos on many other construction-related items throughout 2023. There is some real working rigs coming and some other stuff. So very, very nice. Good job, Matchbox teams. Appreciate that. So we're going to roll out. Level M Diecast. We digging. Peace.